Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Alright guys, today for Something Old, we're going way back, almost to the beginning of the recorded era. We're going to look at Woody Guthrie and his 1940 release, Dust Bowl Ballads. Now, just for the record, a lot of people will make the argument that the Stooges, or the Ramones, or the Velvet Underground were the first punk rockers. If you ask me, there's no question, it was actually Woody Guthrie. It's also with that in mind that it's almost impossible to find any musician from the past 70 years of music that wasn't in some way influenced by Woody Guthrie. So when you talk about Woody Guthrie, there's no question that he's basically the beginning of the modern folk sound, and yet there's this bite, there's this frustration, there's this almost angst that's unlike anything else being recorded at that time. While the music found throughout the Dust Bowl Ballads, and in fact all of Woody Guthrie's catalog, may be what one might call simple, it's the way that he's able to manipulate his voice and convey so many different emotions through this honest, direct, and just pure singing that makes his music so captivating. Whether he's doing something more autobiographical or he's showing the early signs of punk rock in some rebellious lyrics, Woody Guthrie's words are second to none. All across the Dust Bowl Ballads, you can hear why a lot of government officials weren't a huge fan of Woody Guthrie, and in fact, the record label changed the name of one of his songs. The song that a lot of people know as Do Re Mi was originally spelled Do, D-O-U-G-H, and that title drives home the idea that this song is about rebelling and standing up against the wealthy class. So at the end of the day, whether it's because of his amazing voice, the fantastic lyrics, or just the purity within the music, everybody should own a copy of Woody Guthrie's entire catalog, and the best of it can be found on the Dust Bowl Ballads. Alright guys, today for something new, we're going to talk about the most recent release from Lenny Kravitz. It's called Black and White America. The opening of this record is nothing short of confusing. It's this weird soul funk disco sound, and at first you're like, okay, it's probably just the introduction, but when it turns out to be the actual song, it's a little bit scary. Throughout this first song, and actually throughout a lot of the songs on this album, they actually sound more like they'd belong in the Jamiroquai or some other horrible artist catalog than they would in a rock and roll legend like Lenny Kravitz. Because the fact of the matter is this, when Lenny Kravitz is rocking out, it's good, and when he's not, it's bad, and not only is it bad, it's really bad, and unfortunately throughout this record, he decides not to rock out very often. And even worse than that, there are moments when he is rocking out, and it's still bad. Nobody's going to argue that over the past 20 years, Lenny Kravitz is responsible for some of the most beautiful words. These are certainly not his best, and they might be his worst. I mean, honestly, Lenny, did you really call a song Liquid Jesus? Really? I can't say it enough. Every single second of this album seems completely forced. He has to name drop James Brown and pretty much rip off a Marvin Gaye riff. Do we remember that this is Lenny Kravitz? He's written some of the most exciting songs of the past 2 decades. Where has that musician gone? I mean, honestly, Lenny, was there something wrong with being one of the greatest hard rock guitarists on the planet? Did you forget the part where you were the only person for a very long time who was able to put a pop sensibility into the hard rock retro sound? It was really good. You should go check out your first 3 albums sometime. They still kick a lot of ass. But I will say this, there is a redeeming moment to Lenny Kravitz's Black and White America. It's the song Looking Back on Love. It's got a damn good groove, it's a very, very good song, so on the buy it or borrow it, I would say borrow it just to hear this song and then throw it in the trash. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, go ahead and click like, go ahead and leave a comment, whatever you want to do. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I write about the greatest songs ever written at thedailyguru.net. You can follow me on Twitter, you can like me on Facebook /thedailyguru, and we'll see you guys again next week.